My Home NC is made possible by the financial contributions of viewers like you. And by
power. We use it every day in nearly everything we do. And here in North Carolina, public power is energizing resources, knowledge, and expertise to deliver you safe and reliable power. Together, we shine bright.
All across the state, we're uncovering the unique stories that make North Carolina my home.
It's a 100-year-old North Carolina tradition. Cheerwine is known for its cherry flavor, and it's known for being from Salisbury, North Carolina.
Well, being 100 years old, of course, my great-grandfather started the brand. I have to think that he would be pleased with how we have grown the business and the brand.
Cheerwine has become a part of North Carolina and Southern culture, and it does reflect home to a lot of people, and so that's a really special thing to be a part of.
My name is Cliff Ritchie.
And my name is Joy Ritchie Harper.
And our home is Salisbury, North Carolina.
So back in 1917, right here in Salisbury, North Carolina, my great-great-grandfather, L.D. Peeler, started Cheerwine, and every generation has been in the family business so far, and today members of the 4th and 5th generation are a part of the business.
I love this shop because it shows all the employees and in their uniforms with their hat and their tie. And I grew up in the Cheerwine business and family, and now they're all gone, but I have my daughter and son in the business, and we look forward to continuing on.
In celebration of Cheerwine's 100th anniversary, the Rowan Museum did put together a special Cheerwine exhibit that does really showcase Cheerwine's past 100 years.
This is the Cheerwine History Room. Tell me a little bit about, so this is the beginning of Cheerwine. Tell me what we're seeing right now.
Well, this is the brand mint cola that my great-grandfather started with the getting into the soft drink business with his wholesale goods store. But then World War I started and sugar became scarce and rationed. It put the mint cola company in bankruptcy. It was either reinvent yourself or get out of business. He started experimenting with different flavors for sweetness as a substitute for sugar. Through all the experimentation, they came up with a formula for Cheerwine. They named it Cheerwine because of its burgundy red color like wine and its effervescent, fizzy character that is cheerful. So,
soldiers remember getting Cheerwine in their care packages from home.
Right, this is the story about Bob Morgan, who was at the Battle of the Bulge. They were the only two in their platoon that weren't either killed or wounded.
Really?
So he drinks a Cheerwine every day. He says for the rest of his life he's had a Cheerwine every day.
And not many people know the recipe. I don't know the recipe. Only a few handful of people know it. So it is a very guarded secret.
So you can't even know the recipe?
No.
One day she'll know the recipe.
One day.
Salisbury is home for me. I grew up here, but every summer I and my husband and the children come back to visit my parents. And so Haps and Cheerwine is something that we always do.
Those are your burgers. A lot of other towns have an athlete that's big in their town. We can always say we got Cheerwine, and they can't take it away from us.
It's amazing to hear how much Cheerwine means to other people. You know, it's an important part of my family, but it's also an important part to a lot of other families in North Carolina.
I am very confident that Cheerwine will be here for the 200th anniversary.
When Jeff Little was a little boy, he remembers Doc Watson coming into his dad's music store and jamming and playing the guitar. He loved playing with Doc Watson, and that legacy continues right on stage.
Oh, he'll make me whole. I'm on bed now.
I became interested in the piano when I was very young. My dad had a music store in Boone, North Carolina. It was an area where there was a lot of musicians, and there'd be a lot of people in there playing all the time, and he had great friends like Doc Watson. And as a matter of fact, my dad and Doc used to play together back in the 50s before I was born. I just started sitting in. I was kind of picking out tunes by the time I was probably 5 or 6 years old. At least that's what they tell me. My name's Jeff Little, and my home is Summerfield, North Carolina. I think that area of the mountains up there, it was just part of the culture that's what people got together and did. They got together and played music. And I was so blessed because Doc and all the other musicians in there, they were just patient. You know, even if I was 8 or 9 years old and everybody was playing something, when it came time to improvise and take a break, they'd say, "Take one, Jeff." Being around that and being around some really great, players, I think was a great place to kind of figure out a pathway for being a musician. Describing my style of piano playing, it is kind of hard. Oftentimes I think my left hand more emulates the thumb pick of a thumb pick guitar, and there's a little bit different groove to that. Or my left hand would be a bass and a mandolin chop, because that's what I hear. And then my right hand maybe emulates more what I might have heard on an acoustic guitar or something like that.
Now she's gone and I don't worry. I'm sitting on top of the world.
This is a special place for you to play, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I've done Merle Fest a long time. For folks that don't know about the festival, it's a festival in Wilkesboro, North Carolina on Wilkes Community College. It was started, if you want to know the history, when Doc's son Merle, who they played together for many years, passed away in an accident. So a lot of fellow musicians came in to support Doc, and that's kind of how it got started. Being a piano player, we have the freedom to play most any song, but the great part is there's always a certain fiber of where you're from when you play, and when you come back to play here, it's kind of like coming back to play home in a way for us. And this is his first time to ever play Merle Fest. He's only been playing a short time, but you got to hop on the horse sometime, right? So please welcome my son, Mr. Luke Little, out to the stage. The really early Merle Fest, my dad played on as well. To have, at least for our family, 3 different generations play there is it's pretty awesome. You know, being influenced by Doc and my father, that's the way it was done. And I was telling somebody the other day, if you were on a set with Doc, even if he didn't know you, but you got up to set in a song, you were going to play. And you were going to play a solo. And it was just, he never left anybody out.
I go down.
That was really the interaction that meant the most, is when you could tell he really would enjoyed what you were doing. That meant a tremendous amount. You want to do Lonesome Fiddle?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Music is more than just playing music. It's kind of a community in a way. For me, it's been really cool to be part of a little bit of the history of where I'm from, even though I'm a piano player.
Get that burn. Woo! They call me Crazy Craver. I will be the next American Ninja Warrior. Train ordinary, be ordinary. I'm Neil Craver. My home is Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Day job, I'm a photographer, working mostly on commercial shoots around the area. And as a passion, it would be American Ninja Warrior. Growing up as a child in North Carolina, I always enjoyed the outdoors. I always enjoyed the physical, running, jumping, exploring. Behind my house there was a creek, and I'd just play in the creek all day long, and my mom would call me in at night, and I just didn't want to go inside. After I seen the show, I was kind of, that's something I could be into. That's something I'm doing already. Here's my video that got me on the show this year. Okay. I'm Neil Craver.
So how does one build a ninja gym in their backyard? What is that process?
So building the ninja gym, I have carpentry skills, so to my advantage, I can use a saw, drills, so I just kind of made it up as I go. I want to make it as highly adaptable and interchangeable as possible. It's just my personality, I kind of get bored easily with a routine. Ah! As a child, a lot of times I felt like I didn't fit in, or I didn't have anybody to talk to. So it kind of made me go internal and made me a little bit shy. And I think as an older adult, I kind of found my place, or found my avenue, where all my friends have these similar aspects of what they want to do, or they're very driven by their athleticism or their diet or their training.
When you talked about your boyhood, it was out in the woods, climbing rocks. So you pretty much just stayed true to that.
Yeah. I'm a grown-up big kid. I'm still out in the woods having fun and playing in the creeks and running up the mountains and jumping on the trees and climbing up the rocks. Not much has changed. I never thought about it, but Ninja Warrior gave me this platform to perform and be who I am, and really showcase my talents, and more than that, just showcase my character, and just showcase my exhilaration that I have towards life itself. Just every activity that I do is I'm just having a blast. Everything I do. Everyone has their golden age, and either you're going to put it on, or you're just going to keep it sitting on the shelf over there, and it might sit over there until you're too old, or you're dead. I definitely want to put mine on now.
think that God gave this wonderful, beautiful stretch of sand for everybody to draw close together.
We swam 3 times a day, we ate 3 times a day, we slept a lot and talked a lot.
There's so much history for us as a family. Our family has such deep roots in this place.
My name is Nancy Rasco, and I've been coming to Nags Head since I was 6 months old. Every summer, I stayed with my grandmother Nixon. The Nixon cottage was actually the Grandy cottage in 1866. Everybody just seemed to survive the hurricanes, the cottages, the people. I think it's because they knew how to build them. They built them with the right roof and the right pilings.
What is it like for you to just kind of to have lived this history and to know these families?
That's what ties us together. It does.
Who is this a picture of?
The pictures of President Roosevelt in the, I guess, the presidential car, isn't it? They came down to Nags Head and he took them over to Miss Mattie Buchanan's cottage. And we were 2 doors over, see, at the Nixon cottage, and we watched in their little dining area, right out of the window, watching from the dining room, watched him come into the cottage. And you need to know the old stories, and you need to know your young stories. Families getting together and cooking and swimming and playing games and going up Jockey's Ridge. Now, we did that nearly every night, went up Jockey's Ridge.
Welcome to the Outlaw Cottage. I'm Margie Worthington, and this is my sister Georgia Sullivan.
Hi, nice
How
to
are
meet
you? And this is my niece,
Georgiana.
Georgiana Sullivan.
Thank you guys for having us. A beautiful
Absolutely.
cottage. Tell me about the history of how old this cottage is and how it's been in your family.
The house was actually built in 1885 by our great-grandfather, Captain Edward Ralph Outlaw, who was in the Confederate Army. And he cut the timber for this cottage up on the farm that we still own in Bertie County. This was the last of the 13 original cottages to be built over here. Terrible storm, August 25th, 1918, washed houses away.
Oh, it's funny. It's almost like they didn't have paper.
I know.
We were trained not to draw on the wall, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
And they did it all the time. So you get to know the generations in a way that was like the old days here, where you weren't on your phone and you weren't doing all those other things. You're just focusing on this place. But there's magic here, too, in these old houses. You feel the people who came before you.
My name is Frances Ingalls, and I'm from Edenton. And I've been coming to this cottage, Spider Villa, most of my life.
So this is a picture of you when you were about how old?
I think about 8 years old.
Sitting on the railing of the original, pretty original cottage.
Well, it had been added to a little bit. According to a local historian, it's the oldest cottage on the beach, and it can be dated from the time that an old Methodist church was torn down in Elizabeth City, and the big old framing timbers were reused. I think we just need to treasure each minute we have and gather the families and just have the same simple routines and peace as long as we can.
Rise and shine. Sunrise Biscuit Kitchen. Good morning. Looking out the window and rolling the biscuits. That's great. I love that.
That's why I know
love
the
that.
sun rises over there. I've made plenty of biscuits there, but it was a long time ago. Biscuits have always been part of Southern tradition, and especially North Carolina tradition. My name is David Allen. My home is Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Originally from Aurora, North Carolina, but I made the transition to Chapel Hill after going to college here. John Carmody, who's my original partner in Sunrise, and he approached me to start Sunrise Biscuit with him. I said, I'll come help you open the restaurant, but I'm leaving in December. And that was 38 years ago.
Hi, Nancy, your order?
Chapel Hill's a particularly unique restaurant because we were the first drive-through only restaurant in North Carolina.
Here's your food. We're just waiting on your hot chocolate if you want. Right, 1 second.
Hey, have a baked egg and cheese biscuit with an Arnold Palmer.
These guys have been here for how long?
I probably got here about 4:30 in the morning. I think it's now around 6:30, so a couple of hours for Randy, the manager, and Linda, the biscuit maker. Without her biscuits, Sunrise Biscuits is not in business.
You're kind of the face of Sunrise Biscuit.
Yeah, a lot of people wave when they come through here. Sometimes I wave at them, no. And they have the animals with them, and I wave at the animals too.
Linda, you must make biscuits in your sleep.
I found through. Actually, I did dream about making this a couple of times.
I dreamed about biscuits also. My grandmother was one of the inspirations of how we make biscuits. My mother is the youngest of 17 children, so as a really young child, I watched my grandmother make biscuits, and I'd stand there by her apron and get flour all over me, and she taught me the basics of how to make a good biscuit. One of the keys to a great biscuit is not overworking the dough. Picks them up gently, got to keep flour on her hands to keep her hands from sticking to it. It's about 15 biscuits on a pan, I believe. And then from there, they will go in the oven for about 15 minutes, come out nice and golden. And we've taken those same basic properties and given you lots of combinations. You usually get a BLT biscuit. You can get what is now known as a Bad Grandpa.
Tell us how the Bad Grandpa got its name.
There was a movie that was filmed here that the character was an elderly grandpa. And he was maybe not as nice a grandpa as he should have been. I didn't know what he wanted to order, and this is what my staff came up with. So that's our Bad Grandpa special. One of our top sellers. Chicken and cheese is our top seller. Bad Grandpa, which is the complete meal, is the next top seller. In special events, there's cars lined around the building and across the bridge. They know we're fast. They're amazed how quickly the order's ready.
What is it you love about their biscuits?
I don't know. Honestly, they're like so fresh, and it's almost like just having made one from home.
Do you come here a lot?
Yeah, probably.
You do? Yeah. You seemed a little hesitant, like you don't want to admit how much that you have a biscuit addiction.
Yeah, I don't want to admit it. It's kind of embarrassing, but yeah.
Anything else?
Breakfast, the great thing about it is people are loyal. They're creatures of habit. They don't wake up in the morning and go, where am I going to have breakfast this morning? If they've got a spot that they know they're going to get a hot coffee, fresh biscuit, good food, quick service, they're going to be loyal to that place.
For more of My Home NC, head over to our website. It's where you'll find exclusive online debuts, stories, full episodes, recipes, and behind-the-scenes glimpses in our extra helpings section. Visit UNC-TV.org/myhome right now and let us know what you think.
Power. We use it every day in nearly everything we do. And here in North Carolina, Public Power is energizing resources, knowledge, and expertise to deliver you safe and reliable power. Together, we shine bright.